Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me for your April of 2023 Taroscope. My name is Vickieverlie and you can find me at vickieverlie.com or Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube. So here we are, it's April. We've come through this big transits of the March time frame where we had the Saturn moving into Pisces and then we had the Pluto moving into Aquarius, these big transits. And now we're getting into eclipse season. So the planets are just not letting up. We're definitely in a time frame of major shifts and changes. It's a big news about the eclipses because for the longest time here, we've been having, well, not the longest time, the last couple years or so, the eclipses have been falling in the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. They always are going to be like an opposite signs of each other. It's opposition because it follows with the astrology nodes. I'm not going to get too much into that. But also, as we start into eclipse season, notice that the eclipse is no longer in Taurus and Scorpio. They've shifted, and they're going to be in Libra and Aries for the next year and a half or so. Now, we have had these before, okay? We've had this cycle before. It's always a cycle, right? So the last time we had this cycle of eclipses and this nodal cycle would have been between the dates of December 2004 and June of 2006. So you might want to think back to those time frames. If you're old enough, it can be very valuable to see how your life is going. Another time frame before that was 1986, April of 86 through December of 87. And then before that, it was August of 67 through April of 69. So you can think back to those years, but again, if you were born during those times, you're coming up on a nodal return. And a nodal return is a very powerful time as to let the universe is trying to help you align with your true north. I show this illustration all the time in personal readings. We all have this north node. This is our true north, our true soul's calling. And all of us come down here and we get a little bit off. We go a little bit off our true soul's path, and then, but the longer we stay on this alternative path, this alternative trajectory, this alternative timeline, the further and further we get away from our true soul's calling or our true soul's north up here. So we have these nodal returns, we have these big moments where we, align. It is a moment to align. It is a moment to realign with our true soul's calling. And again, it can tie back to those particular time frames that were mentioned. Okay, now the decks that we're going to use for the readings today, we're going to use, of course, my Rock and Roll Tarot deck, as always. This is the smaller version, the 3rd edition, the smaller version. Excuse me for 1 second. And then, of course, we're going to pull a card from my deck, the Beast Mistress Animal Oracle cards. You can find all that information below or at my website. And then the guest deck, so to speak, of this month is going to be the Tarot of the Moon Garden by Karen Marie Sweetheart. This is a really cool deck. I actually have trimmed this deck down because it looks like this. There was a big white border, so I removed that white border to make it a little bit, I just felt like I wanted to do that. I've never trimmed a deck before, but I did it, and I definitely like the feel of it better at like this size. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to move on and get into our individual signs, starting with the sign of Aries, okay? All right, Aries, so you've just came out of this big Aries ingress, and you had your Aries new moon, and you're going to have a second new moon in your sign on the 20th, and that is that eclipse. And the eclipses are going to start happening in your sign and your opposite sign of Libra over the next, year and a half or so. So this is a very powerful time for you. Let's go ahead and get some cards and see what's coming up for the month of Aries, or the month of April for Aries, I should say. Let's see what we get. We're going to cut 3 piles here. 1, 2, 3. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Cups. I want to pull this one too because it seemed like it wanted to come. And the Hierophant. And then we're going to shuffle up our Tarot of the Moon of Garden. By the way, if you're interested in the Tarot of the Moon of Garden, you can find a link below to purchase this if you're interested. Let's go ahead and get Tarot of the Moon and Garden. 3 cards for our Aries friends. We've got the 2 of Cups, the 3 of Swords, and finally the Hierophant. So the Hierophant has shown up twice, and that's significant. And not only that, let's try to zoom in a little bit more so hopefully everybody can see everything. How about right there? Okay, so not only has the Hierophant shown up twice, but it's shown up in the same exact spot here. I mean, that's very significant. So the Hierophant is about the groups that we belong to. It's about, it can be like, in modern day, it can be like a big company. It represents libraries, hospitals, the government. So there's definitely some big thing around this. Some of you may be, because the Three of Swords is here, we have to acknowledge that, and that is a card of having some upset, having some sorrow. Well, with change, it comes with change. You know, it's not surprising that you'll be having these kinds of energies when these eclipses are in your sign and all this stuff is going on. I like that I did go ahead and pick up this extra card for you because it's up above here, and it's like the spirits and angels are up above, guiding your every step. They're working with you, so whatever's being left behind or lost, it's for your highest good, it's for your highest purpose. There is this soulmate energy. We have the soulmate card, the Two of Cups, which is the soulmate card, right? And then we also have the Queen of Pentacles above. Now, there's no gender in these readings because it's for so many people. So even though it's depicted as a female, it could be anybody, all right? But it's an earth sign energy, a Taurus, a Capricorn, or Virgo. And I actually forgot to write down the day, but I'm going to do it right now. When the sun is going to move from your sign of Aries into the sign of Taurus, and that's going to be happening right on the same day as the eclipse on the 20th there, yeah. So then, let me just make a little note here. That's the day also that the sun moves into Taurus. It's going to be a little bit later in the day. So after the 20th, the sun is in Taurus, so that could also be representing that time frame of when the sun moves into Taurus. There is some kind of offer coming. I want to say for most people, there's a way out. That's really what I'm getting. There's a way out of whatever this heartbreak or sorrow, or really what I want to say is there's a way out of this mess. So there's a way out of this mess. For some of you, it might be somebody out there has hit rock bottom, and this may be joining like a program or something like that, this Hierophant energy, this group energy. For others, it could be a new job is being offered. Definitely with the Pentacle energy, that could be definitely a thing. Could be an offer of love, and if that's the case, if you're looking for love, you may find somebody within the realm of, you know, some kind of a group, or maybe it's even like a dating thing, or do they even do those singles mixers anymore? I think everything's kind of digital these days. There's a lot of energy in your sign, Aries, regardless, you know, with all the things that happen. The new moon, we have 2 new moons. That's very rare that you get 2 new moons in your sign. And top it off, the other one's an eclipse. So a lot of energy in your sign. You're going to be, you can use this energy to really attract, you know, anything that you're really wanting to attract, honestly. People are going to notice you. You're going to be exuding this energy. There's a lot of energy in your field, so you have this ability. Also, the universe is ready to work with you. They're ready to co-create. So you're in a very powerful point of creation. And also, happy birthday to all. I forgot to mention happy birthday to all you Aries. And your new moon, either or, the other one or this one, and your solar return, the day of your birthday, is the most powerful time of manifestation throughout the whole year. You could attract all sorts of wonderful things for you. Do not get stuck in the Three of Swords energy for too long in the wallowing, because the universe is ready to cooperate. There's people that are showing up in your life who are soulmates on whatever capacity. Could be romantic, might be in other, you know, business or other things. And let's get the animal totem for our Aries friends. I keep wanting to say that our April, I keep wanting to call you April. I was going to say our April friends, but it's our Aries friends. The ox. The ox is all about persevering. It's about, you know, pushing forward, taking that chance, taking that risk, not being deterred. You know, the ox is kind of a similar energy to Aries the ram, and they both are these horned creatures. I forgot to get my lots out too. We're going to do that. They both are these horned creatures, and they both will, you know, can be very, not aggressive, but determined, you know, very determined. So you're going to even bringing in this, even more of this energy of this ox, this determination, this drive and ambition, strength, endurance, patience, presence, clearing karma and accepting what is, standing strong, plowing through. Elimination creates space for magic. Yeah, so those of you who have been going through some sort of a Three of Swords moment where you're feeling this heartache, you're feeling that way, clearing and eclipses will eclipse things out of your life. That's been known to happen. But usually it's the full moon eclipse. You're having a new moon eclipse. But clearing out this energy and coming into this new group of energetic frequency can make magic happen, and especially when you're you're co-creating with the universe. Okay, for those of you who are interested in love, I'm going to pull a lot from the Lots of Love, also my creation, and I have kind. Well, that can go both ways. It can be like, be kind, be kind to others. But also when I saw that, I felt like this person's very kind. Okay, let's go on to the next card, our next thing, which is going to be a yes, no, maybe. Ask your question. Get my hair out of here. And let's see what we got here. It says, yep. So that's a yes. The hair is still hanging on there, isn't it? Okay, then finally, your lots of Proverbs to get you a little bit of wisdom for the month, a little bit of advice or wisdom. And in this case, we have, if I can get it out, it says, better safe than sorry. Well, that's not usually an Aries thing at all. You guys are usually, because that's like this is talking about caution too, didn't it say that? Well, so they're advising to maybe not go rushing into things. Better safe than sorry. Make sure everything's checked over. This may be for some of you. You may have to look into some kind of a law, talk to a lawyer. This could be the legal system. This could also be like the structures at your work. Maybe you better, or if you're the one hiring, maybe do a background check, or if you have a property to rent, better safe than sorry. Do that background check. Do that little extra bit of whatever it takes to make sure that you're going to end up, in the driver's seat or in a good place. Okay, let me pick these cards up, and then we're going to move on next to the sign of Taurus. Hello, Taurus, and happy birthday to all you late April Taurians. If you are a late April Taurus, you probably have some Aries in your chart. Wouldn't be surprising. Like you may have Mercury or even Venus or Mars in the sign of Aries. Of course, it's going to vary from person to person. But you could definitely be really feeling the effects of these eclipses even a little bit more than other people. Not only that, the day of the eclipse, the 20th, that's the same day that the sun is going to move into your sign. So that's also really, influential to you. When the sun goes zero in your sign, you always do feel that, quite a bit. Most people will feel that quite a bit. Well, these cards are just flying out all over the place for you, aren't they, Taurus? Okay, let me give it a shuffle here. I'm just going to shuffle them all, like I just did. And then we're going to cut first from the Rock and Roll Tarot deck. We're going to cut 3 for our Taurus friends. And we have the 7 of Cups. We have, this one wanted to stay behind. It's the Page of Pentacles, but I'm not putting it in the reading. And then finally, the Ace of Pentacles. New money showing up. I know Tauruses like to hear that one. And then finally, we're going to cut these 3 from the Tarot Moon Garden. And we've got the 8 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles. Wow. And the Hierophant. We had that. Well, I guess I didn't shuffle. That was the top cards. I guess I didn't shuffle that top as good as I should have. But boy, does it look like it's going to be a nice money month for you guys. And I know you Tauruses are happy to hear that one, aren't you? Yeah, you've got some really nice cards lining up here as far as money and finance. We got the Ace of Pentacles, and then we have the 8 and the 9 of Pentacles. Both definitely good financial cards. The 9 of Pentacles is all about like this, being financially independent, being able to take care of yourself. Often, the 9 of Pentacles can be your own business, but usually not when it's associated with the Hierophant. In this case, it could be maybe some of you are independent contractors through some large firm or something like this large company. Maybe sometimes when I get these 2 cards together, this can talk about doing real estate, where you're a real estate agent. Yes, maybe you're associated with some big real estate company, but you're really kind of off on your own. You're kind of an independent contractor, or your earning power is up to you. And it's definitely, if you're not currently working in that kind of a position, you're looking, there could be an offer coming just like that. Whatever the case may be with the 8 of Pentacles here, it does say that you do really enjoy this work. This is work that the hours pass and you don't even realize it. You look up and it's hours have passed. It's similar to some jobs where it's like, you're working, and only 5 minutes have gone by. We've got the 7 of Cups over here. So this is creating your reality, something you've been dreaming of, something you've been visualizing, something that you've been, wanting for some time, and you could really see it's to start to manifest at this time. Seems to be there's an involvement with this Queen of Swords here. Now, no gender, so Queen of Swords could be anybody, but it is indicative of air sign energy, which would be the Aquarius, the Geminis, and the Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I do want to point out that the full moon on the 6th is in the sign of Libra, which is one of the air signs. So sometimes this card reminds me of the full moon, too. So there could be some big news coming your way with the money of something you've been dreaming of here on or around that date of the 6th. Now again, if you are a late degree, or late, excuse me, not late degree, early would be early degree of April, late April Taurus, know that there is some powerful mojo coming up around your birthday. Your solar return is talking about creating your reality and manifesting it in the real world. That is absolutely what the solar return is about. It is your personal new moon. It is your personal, not only personal new moon, that'll be next month, but it's your personal solar return. It's your personal new year. So it is a very powerful time to manifest your reality, and you could absolutely be manifesting some kind of new job that pays very well, and it definitely feels like it's a boost up for many of you, and a long time dream I'm getting too. All right, Taurus, let's go ahead and look and find your animal totem for our Taurus friends. The spider. It's interesting when these two cards come together because the spider energy is about weaving your web and creating your reality also, and so is the Seven of Cups. So you're coming into your season. You probably have some planets in Aries. It's, at least half of you watching probably have some planets in Aries too. So these eclipses and all this other stuff could be hitting on your Venus. I mean, this could be some beautiful energy with this. If something's hitting on your Venus, it could absolutely manifest some nice money for you. The spider is weaver of fate, creator of life, patient builder of sacred geometry, transcending time and space. All are joined in the wheel of life. That last line is interesting too, about all are joined in the wheel of life, because this is also the card of the group dynamic. Another thing about the spider, it's akin to the Wheel of Fortune. And I always say, I didn't put the Wheel of Fortune on the cover of my deck. I can't first, let's use this one. I didn't put the Wheel of Fortune on the cover of my deck for no reason. It's a very powerful energy of attraction, and it's also a big energy of timing. Now, you're moving out of this eclipse cycle. These eclipses have been hitting on your sign. Although you're not quite out of the woods yet, I do have to say there will be one more eclipse at the very end of the year in your sign, right around Halloween. But the shift is upon us. The wheel is turning. We're moving into a new energetic frequency. And you've been really, you've been really a big part of it, and it can be disruptive. And often Tauruses, you don't like that disruptive energy. You like you're fixed and you're earth. You like things grounded. You want to know what's the plan. So if that's been upsetting or tumultuous, or I was trying to say turmoil and tumultuous at the same time, then some of that could be coming to an end, and you could feel a lot more settled and at peace, because that's another meaning of this Nine of Pentacles. The person in the traditional tarot, they're very much at peace. All right, let's get your lots of love for those of you thinking about love answers, and it says bitter. Well, that can be a message to you to don't be bitter, or also maybe there's somebody else who, I'm hearing the word sour grapes, so somebody has sour grapes. Now here's your yes, no, maybe from our lots of answers. All these lots and everything you can find if you're interested on my website, vickieverlie.com. It says indeed, so that's a definite yes and a yes, no, maybe. And then finally we're going to do lots of proverbs for a little bit of wisdom or a little bit of guidance for the Taurus collective for the month of April. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Well, that's true. And it could be, again, this could just go both ways. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Another thing that I want to say about that is with all this dreaming and manifesting, make sure that it is based in reality. Make sure that, do your homework. Maybe you might have to talk to a bank. There are some definite real world practical things that are going to have to be done in order to move forward. But you're definitely, in the momentum is definitely happening, and you're definitely on your way. Okay, let's move these aside, and I'm going to move the animal totem aside as well and pick up the cards, because the next sign that we're going to do is going to be Gemini. I was supposed to be marking them off over there. I made my little tick sheet, and I forget to use it. Well, hello, Geminis. I hope everybody's doing good after these big transits. You're definitely affected by the big transits. And you could go back to last month's videos and look more into it. But, you know, the Saturn going into, if you're into Pisces, that's making a square to you. You may feel pressure from the universe or kind of forced to try to make things happen. You may feel pushed. Saturn pushes. He pushes you out of situations that are no longer good for you or valid for you, right? And also then the Pluto going in Aquarius is making a nice trine. So that supports you in any big changes that you would want to make in your life around this time, as trines are very supportive. Let's cut 3 piles for our Gemini friends here. And we've got the Page of Pentacles, the 7 of Rods, and the Queen of Rods. So we're looking at that fire energy, that fiery Aries energy that's so prevalent right now. This one wanted to stay, and I'm going to put it right where it was. And then we're going to cut 2 more out of here. We're going to take this top one, which is the Hermit, and then we're going to pull 1 more, which is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so there's no gender in these collective readings, but there are 2 people showing up. They're both representing as queens, although they may not be female, but we're talking about fire energy with the Queen of Rods, and then we're talking about earth energy with the Queen of Pentacles. So can I just scoot this in just a hair or more without being too much? Just 1 more hair. There, I think that's better. Yes, so these are people. These are people that are coming in, and I do feel helpful. Especially this Queen of Pentacles feels majorly helpful. Matter of fact, when she's got the Hermit next to her, I'm going to say her, but it could be anybody. They've got the Hermit next to them. This is wise advice sometimes. This could even be like a lawyer or a financial advisor with the Pentacles. Is, you know, kind of common thing. 2 of Cups is here, so it's soulmate energy. It's soulmate energy going both ways because she is connected. When cards touch up against each other, there's a connection. So she's connected in this way, the Queen of Pentacles is, and then the Queen of Rods is also. I get a little bit more, you know, I don't know that the Queen of Rods is all that positive necessarily. I feel like what I'm getting off this Queen of Rods is this person is no nonsense. But you have to note that they are they are connected right next to this struggling card here. So in that case, there's definitely, you know, for some, this person may be helping you out of the struggle, but for some, I get this real attitude from this card, like, hey, like you're saying, hey, this is too much work for me, or, you know, we can't go on like this, and they're just like, well, too bad, deal with it. I feel like a real no-nonsense attitude coming from this person. There is news about money coming. And I'm feeling like you might want to keep it quiet. If you are in a job where there's a lot of contention or stress or something like that, even if this isn't a bad person, I don't feel like she's like this person's necessarily quote-unquote bad. I just feel like, again, no nonsense. It's just like, well, deal with it or leave. You know, there's somebody else that'll fill this job. Like they're just their mind's on business. They're not concerned about this struggle. They're looking off in this direction. Does feel that it could be as after the sun moves into Taurus, after the eclipse on the 20th, because this is earth energy, we might be hearing some news about money. If it's some kind of thing where there's a contract or something, definitely have it looked over by, you know, we've got this lawyer or higher guidance card here. And the Queen of Pentacles may be just that. There's definite soulmate energy around, so for some of you, this could absolutely have to do with love. But our soulmates are not always in the form of romantic partners and love and lovers. We have all sorts of soulmates from all sorts of walks of life, so, you know, keep that in mind. And of course, it's going to be different for everyone. Let's go ahead and get the animal totem card for our January friends. How about Gemini friends? I was calling Aries April, and I'm calling you January. Gemini. Oh, there it was. There was a dolphin. It flipped the other way. There it is. Dolphin is very high vibe and energy. Dolphin is very high spiritual energy. Get to the ocean, get to the water. Some of you, I feel like, are going to, this is so random, but I'm picking up some of you might see like a UFO or something down by some body of water. But you also may be falling in love because this 2 of Cups is here, and that dolphin has that high vibe and energy, how one might feel when they are first in that initial stages of falling in love, right? Dolphin, optimist, clairaudient, spirit guide, starseed, joyous interaction of fun and play, sexuality, caring for those less fortunate, embracing personal freedom, and respecting others' choices. Yeah, this could be, that respecting other choices, I came back right away to this. It was like, yeah, this person, or maybe that, you're just like, hey, I hate this job, why don't we go do this thing? And they're not interested. They're not interested in your plight. And it's not because they're cold-hearted necessarily, but they've just got other things on their mind. So that's this respecting others' choices. This person, even though it's the right path for you, and it might seem like this great opportunity to them, it's not for them. It's not their jam, basically. All right, let's see if we can find some let's pull out some of these lots for you. First, we're going to go into the lots of love. So let's find the lots of love for our Gemini friends. We've got the Martyr. Well, this could also be, that can be like the energy of the Martyr. Usually not, but I could see how that would line up. Where this could be somebody who's constantly, complaining and bitching and moaning or whatever, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get your yes, no, maybe answer. And it says not now. So there's a delay. And here's another thing, that Hermit energy, that could also signify a delay. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our parable or our lots of proverbs for our Gemini friends. Okay, it says, be the change you wish to see in the world. Yeah, I think for some of you, you're going to be kind of going off to in your own direction. And maybe this is the Saturn energy kind of squaring up against you, kind of pushing you. But it's like, you've got to take this, the dolphin, is definitely all about freedom and not feeling, this is night and day here. This card and the dolphin card, very different energy. The dolphin are happy and free. And I'm hearing delightful. You could have a delightful experience or delightful light by following your true soul's calling and not really worrying about what other people are doing. If you feel that push, chances are it's that square to Saturn and it's pushing you out of a bad situation and into something filled with a lot more prosperity and joy and happiness. Okay, Gemini, thanks for tuning in. Cancer, you'll be up next. Hello, Cancers, and thanks for tuning in for your April of 2023 reading. You also are in a position, because you're one of the cardinal signs, where all this Aries energy is really squaring up with you. Because here's Cancer and here's Aries. This is the cardinal cross going across here, and you're one of them. So when planets and things come across these cardinal points, the other card, it echoes out. It echoes out to the other cardinal signs as well. And it definitely impacts you, and you definitely may feel it. Okay, let's cut our first three cards for our Cancer friends. We've got the Two of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and then the Hermit. And then our next three cards is going to come from our Tarot of the Moon and Garden deck. Let's get I was shuffling off camera, but let's do a quick little extra shuffle on camera. We've got the Ten of Staffs, which is the Ten of Rods, basically. And next we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is kind of similar to that Gemini reading. And then the Hermit's here too. And then the Nine of Staffs. So when you have the 9 and 10 of Staffs, or the 9 and 10 of Rods, there's definitely some friction. I pointed that out in the beginning. The squares can be very friction. It can be kind of pushing you to go in this other direction by making things difficult to stay where you're at. That's often the case. It looks like it's time for a change in your money anyway. You've got this Two of Pentacles. Some of you may be working 2 jobs, or you're not just really making the bucks that you really want to make. There does appear to be an offer coming through, and it's surrounding some water sign energy. We're not having any big water sign event going on other than the Saturn and Pisces, but that started last month. But I do want to tell you there will be some water sign moons these could be some important dates for you. We've got the 7th, 8th in the moon in Scorpio, which is a water sign. And then we've got the 15th, 16th, with the moon is in Pisces, which is a water sign. And then we've got the 24th, 25th, and 26th, where the moon is in Cancer in your own sign, which is a water sign. That could be very important right there, those last 3. But at any rate, because you might be waiting a little bit longer. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't more towards the end of the month when these things are turning up for you. But, yeah, definitely some kind of an offer coming. The Hermit, get your wise advice. Maybe talk to a lawyer or something like that. Here's another thing, because the Hermit is here, because this water energy, this intuitive water energy is here, this could absolutely be like something that you get as a download, you know, maybe when you're meditating, or it comes through in a dream or something like that. But all signs point to some kind of a new beginning in money here with this Ace of Pentacles. You know, it seems like you've really been putting up with a lot. You know, when you have the 9 and the 10 of wands, that was staffs or wands or rods, or there's other words for it. There's a lot of different words for this suit in the tarot. But it's about struggle. It's about feeling hemmed in. It's being hard. And then there's a breakthrough. This absolutely looks like some kind of a major breakthrough for you guys in the most, you know, a powerful way. Oh, I just had that song. It was like A Most Unusual Way. A Most Unusual Way. Is it like from Mary Poppins or something? A Most Unusual Way. Okay, my dog. I'm going to have to get him out of the room, maybe. Got the rat. Yeah, I mean, there could be rats. I know people who have pet rats think they're great and everything, but my encounters with rats have not been. Not those kind of rats. You know, there could be a rat. There could be somebody who's doing you dirty. Just that simple. You know, doing something dirty, putting you in a bad position, some underhanded kind of things going on. And maybe you need to just step back and take a look around too, you know. Take a look around and see where some of this energy is coming from. Because sometimes we're so busy in our everyday work, trying to pay the bills and trying to do this and that, that we don't see, you know, some of these things that are sneaking around or slinking around us in that kind of vibe. So, you know, it can be really beneficial to do that. Or some of you know right out, yeah, no crap, there is a rat, you know, no shit, right? Then it's time to look for another job. It's time to go in a different direction. It's time to start, maybe this is even you reaching out during those dates with your moon. Reaching out, you know, putting out some resumes, putting out some information, trying to find, you know, some solutions, some alternative paths. Because when you get to 10 of staffs, this is talking about, this is really gone as far as it's going to go. This is really, you really can't keep this up, especially with the 2 of Pentacles and the 10 of Staffs. Let me try to find from the original tarot what that looks like from the Smith deck here. That 10 of Rods, that's where that guy's got all this one. You know, he's got all those sticks on his back, and it's unsustainable. You can't go on like that forever. So it's time for a break. It's time for something new. You know, you've got, in astrology, you've got, when Saturn going into Pisces, that's some real nice energy for you. That's a trine to your Cancer. That's a triangle, you know, the water energy again. And the Saturn can really put you in a place where you have a really nice foundation that could last, you know, even the next 30 years or beyond. I'm going to let my dog out. I'm going to reach around here and get you lots of love. Hang in there, Cancer. Rock, why don't you get out of here now since you're not happy? Come on, out. Let's go, buddy. Go on. You stay out there. See, when I do that, though, he'll be busting the door and coming back in. Look how he usually does. But I have to keep the door closed because there's noise happening. Okay, let's get the lots of love for Cancer. It says student. Well, you may be the student or you may be the teacher, you know, depending on your perspective. For some of you, it may not relate to love at all. It may just be, you know, maybe you need to, you know, start learning some new skills or actually taking some classes. Somebody needs to get certified, they're saying. And then let's go ahead and get your yes, no, maybe answer from the lots of answers. And we have uncertain. So not sure at this time. And then finally, from the lots of Proverbs, we're going to get you a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of insight for the month of April. And they say the early bird catches the worm. Yeah, it's tough. Don't wait around any longer. This back-breaking, some of you are like literally doing like back-breaking work. So this back-breaking work, you know, it's just not going to cut it. Be the first to apply. You know, be the first to apply. Be on the lookout for some of these things here. Did I read this? Sneaking, sleeking, hiding, stealing, fear, lack, hoarding, squalor, surviving in harsh environments. Yeah, I definitely am picking that up. Release what no longer serves you. Yeah, it's time to let some things go. Early bird catches the worm. You may have to work 2 jobs, or you may be going to school and work another job, but it's a short-term thing. It's not going to be an ongoing thing for the rest of your life or anything. It's going to be a short-term thing that's going to allow you to make this new beginning and make this next step in your... Looks a lot of it is surrounding, finances. Okay? Let me get these out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and put that back and put this back. And then we're going to check that we're going to move on to the sign of Leo. Well, Leo, all this Aries energy is kind of good for you because it's trining all your Leo stuff. It's very fiery energy. And even the Pluto going into Aquarius, although it's opposing you because it's in your opposite sign, it's air and fire. And then the node's shifting into air and fire. So that's an energy that you're more comfortable with. And that's an energy that you're more able to work with. And that you can really make some progress with, okay? Okay, so let me get the shuffle going here for our Leos, and then we're going to cut. We're going to start with the Rock and Roll Tarot deck and cut 3, 1, 2, and 3. And we've got the Page of Cups. Well, that Page of Cups has been out quite a bit. The Queen of Rods, and finally the Eight of Cups. So you're moving on. Moving on, or maybe, you might be going on a vacation for some. And then he's out there trying to get back in. We've got the Nine of Swords, so there's been some upsets. Feels like you're coming out of it, though. Knight of Staffs, which I think is the rods. And then Six of Pentacles. There might be an offer for some of you to go, do some kind of a, maybe even a gig of some sort, but travel to a new job, travel to a new location. That has to do with money. They're offering you some money feels like to do this traveling. Some of you, can't come fast enough when you got the Nine of Swords. You've been through some trauma. You've been through some upset. Knight of Staffs. This one would be you, by the way. Queen of Rods, that is your card. Whether you're male or female, there's no gender in these readings. That's going to be your card. So that represents you. You're standing next to this trip, and on the other side of it is this offer, right? So there's this offer coming, and it may involve travel, or sometimes these are just the journey of your life. And one of the things about this, this reading is, in this card, is this could be something that you put a lot of time into. With the cups, it could be relationship, but it could also be, a lot of things, but it's something that you really put a lot of time into, possibly even 8 years. Now that moon is really standing out to me, and I want to talk about, I think a lot of this could be going down somewhere around that eclipse. That eclipse is going to affect you because it is in your fellow fire. It's going to affect everyone, but you're definitely going to feel that because you are fire energy as well. The Knight of Staffs seems to be kind of coming and checking on you. Are you okay? Or maybe he's coming to offer solution. He feels positive. It feels like you guys are aligned. If I put it like this, it's like it's all one staff even, if you notice that. He's also fire sign. I feel for most of you, this is you and this is this other person. The roles could be reversed. But this is another fire sign energy. This feels like a younger person, though. For some of you, this is even your dog or your cat. If you're laying around crying and they're coming over and licking your face, I definitely picked that. Or even your horse, maybe, But it feels like it could be a pet for some people. But for most people, I feel like this is going to be a person. They're offering something good to you, whether in the form of comfort or whether in the form of, for many, it might be an opportunity here. We're looking at this fire sign energy, so I do feel like, it's going to be up till, sometime during these first few weeks while we're still in the sign of Aries, and then maybe even culminating around that time of that eclipse. That could absolutely be. Okay, let's go ahead and get your animal totem. This is for our Leo friends for April of 2022, or 23. Sorry, of course it's 23. The wolf. The wolf is very much about finding your pack and finding your people. And my initial, feeling on this Knight of Staffs here, this Knight of Rods, was that this is probably, somebody that you're a kindred spirit with, and that's a lot of what the wolf will show. Notice that the wolf here is also showing around that full moon. So, howling at that moon. What's a new moon eclipse? Well, let's look. The full moon, maybe we're talking about the full moon eclipse because it's on the 6th in the sign of Libra, and we have a 6 right next to it. So we could be talking about the full moon, and that moon looks full there. So maybe right around that time of the 6th even, Could be some good news coming. But let's read this wolf energy. Wild spirit of the wilderness, impeccable instincts draw your path, needing freedom to roam far and wide, embracing the interdependency of all life. Yeah, when that interdependency, that drove me back up to this card somehow. It's like you're breaking away from your old pack in some way. And it's a pack, the old, being the pack is not really the right word that I'm trying to, it's a simile for people you associate with, yes, but it feels like also people you align with energetically. I feel like you're really ready to make this boost to this next level. And some of the energetic frequencies of people that maybe you don't even know, maybe you're of someone who, well, I've always worked in this field, and so say, well, it's just whatever, anything. Find something here that's resembling, I've always worked at the zoo. I always worked in a zoo my whole life, okay? Or at the park, as a ranger. I was always a wolf ranger my whole life, whatever. Even if you don't know these, there's millions of people who work at zoos all over the world. Even if you don't know them, you're still a part of that collective. And it might not be anything to do with why you work. I feel like it's more about your belief in yourself, which Leos usually aren't short on belief in themselves, but it feels like there could have been something kind of major that kind of got you down there. Here, don't let it get you down. Don't let it get you down, Leo. Okay, let's get your lots of love for our Leo friends. We've got passion. So maybe there is some passion with that rods too, when this rod's connecting up. That could be, maybe you're going to meet this new lover. It does seem more like the work related with this kind of stuff. But it could be a job or a thing like, career path that you're very passionate about. Okay. Yes, no, maybe for Leo friends, for the lots of answers. Ooh, I had one and it dropped. It says clearly. So that's a definite yes. And then let's get a lots of, I keep wanting to call them lots of parables, but they're actually, I guess they're sort of parables, but I named them the lots of proverbs. These are also my creation. So let's pull that lots of proverb out for you, and it says, make love, not war. Well, that could just be what you're leaving behind too. If you've been in a situation that's been really contentious, and there's been, it's been upsetting, and there's been a lot of contention, and it's been hurtful, that could absolutely be, what you're moving away from. And I do feel love energy or positive energy for sure coming off of this Knight of Staffs. Could be a younger person. For some of you, if you have, older kids, this could even be like your son or one of your kids, But for most, I feel like it's some kind of work or money opportunity that's going to put you in a line with a different kind of vibrational pack. You might not know each and every one of them individually. It could be, like I was explaining, the zookeepers all over the country, but there's a new alignment coming, and it feels you'd be passionate about it and love. Maybe some of you this could be a new relationship, and maybe you're just very passionate, in that honeymoon phase where you're just passionate all the time, right? Okay, I'm going to gather these up because then we're going to move on to, where am I putting my animal totem cards? I keep getting them lost. Give me just a second here. Here, let's find a good spot for them. I'm going to put them up here. Okay, because now we're going to be moving on to the sign of Virgo. I'm going to grab up the cards. Okay, Virgo, now Saturn has moved into your opposite sign of Pisces. That's exactly the opposite of you. So for many, especially if you're Virgo rising, you're going to see partnerships are going to be put to the test. Okay, and this Aries stuff, it's not making a traditional, one of the easy aspects. It affects everybody, these eclipses, but it's kind of, I'm feeling like there's some friction. I'm really feeling like there's some friction with Virgos, and it might be kind of a difficult time to get through, but it's a difficult time for everybody. We're going through this major portal. Virgo, you're ready for anything. You're like, I'm seeing like a Girl Scout or Boy Scout uniform. You've got your first aid kit. Whatever the uniform, not the uniform, but the universe is going to throw at you. You're ready. You're ready for anything. You're prepared. Like the Boy Scouts are always prepared. So the first three cards you're getting, nice, Eight of Rods, Three of Rods. And the World. Wow, look out, Virgo. this is looking like some really nice stuff for you. Okay, next we're going to move on to the next deck, the Tarot, Moon, and Garden. You know, I am offering that Aries Ingress. I've been forgetting to remember and say it. And the Aries card fell out too, the Emperor. Until the end of the month, so if you're watching this early. And the Aries Ingress is good for months and months, for 3 months minimal. For the whole year, really. Okay. Well, Eight of Rods is, what is the Eight of Rods? It's a pointer. It's always a pointing card. So we look at what are they pointing at, and it's pointing straight at the Three of Rods. So that's your ships are coming in. Now this is a lower, you know, it's a number 3, so it's a lower card in the suit. But it's so you've arrived, and you're starting to see things manifest, and the Ace of Pentacles is here too. So we're at the beginning phases of something really big and really cool manifesting. You've got 2 4s here also, the 4 of the Emperor and then the 4 of the Pentacles. But when the world, you factor in that world energy, it says, yeah, you're going to reach this goal or this pinnacle of success, or you're going to start to see things happening, and you don't, what you don't even see or what you don't even know yet is that world card. I'm picking up when we used to say when we were kids, like, I don't even care. So somebody there might be saying, I don't even care. That says opus, but I saw soup here. So for some of you, I don't know. I mean, could somebody be starting a soup empire or some no soup for you? Or soup, or, you know, well, that might be relevant to somebody. Maybe you're cooking up a pot of soup, or, you know, maybe that's just a personal ritual that you do or something. The Emperor has taken a shine to you. That's what the guides are coming through with. The Emperor has really taken a shine to you. They really want to know you. They're very interested in offering you some more money, whether it's a raise, or if it's a promotion, or if it's a new job altogether. Or is it a backing and financing? Again, we've got this Aries energy. This is definitely, look at the big horned things on his throne. We're talking Aries time. We're in that Aries time. We're having that eclipse. We have Jupiter and all that stuff that's still coming in from last month. That's still in effect. All that Jupiter and that Aries Ingress stuff still in effect. It looks like there is going to be, you know, some really positive things coming for you through the money and career and success. That says Advent, but I saw advertise. So some of you might want to advertise, and that's what I was going to say about the Four of Pentacles. Sometimes it takes money to make money, you know. So this could be like even an investor saying, okay, I'm going to kick in this, but I want you to kick in this. So don't, you know, sometimes you guys can be a little tight with the money. And it's going to vary from each person, of course, but if there's an investment that's required, it does seem to be like there could be a big turn on your investment. And I don't feel with this Ace of Pentacles and these low numbers everywhere, I'm not feeling like it's, you know, it's going to break you. You know, I feel like it's a relatively small investment for what you're going to yield in return, for sure, with this world energy. For some of you, you may be with the world, it can often talk about somebody from a foreign land, or maybe dealing with people from a foreign land. Used to mean travel to a foreign land, but these days it could be traveling. But these days, you know, what's with this Four of Pentacles? It feels like you're staying at home. You know, they have this beautiful thing called the internet, you know? And you can just talk to people all over the world all the time. And so it could be doing like that. But the company or the investor or the soup or whatever, I keep getting that soup every time I look there. So there's something about soup. Maybe that's a nickname for something else. You know, you have to let me know in the comments if you get any of this. Okay, so the cat definitely flew out for you, cat energy. I'm hearing the Year of the Cat. That's an old song by like Al Stewart or something, but do I have my phone where I can read? Let me look up when the Year of the Cat was, because this could be, I don't think we're in the Year of the Cat right now. I don't follow Chinese astrology that closely. You know, I know I'm a tiger, I'm a water tiger. The Year of the Cat, Chinese astrology. I want to guess, Year of the Rabbit. Oh, listen to this. I was not aware. So this year we're moving in the Year of Rabbit, which is what I believe I heard. Or the Year of the Cat, depending on which cultural traditions you follow, as the start of the Lunar New Year. Oh, depends on where you live. I had no idea about that. So maybe where you're going, it's different cultures. Maybe this is the Year of the Cat is going to be really good for you. That would be, if you follow that back to the Year of the Cat, that follows the year of the Chinese astrology follows the Jupiter cycle. So here's the other years that we would have had these year of the cat things. So that would have been 2011, 1999, 1987, 1975, 1963, and 1951. I really want to mention that 1951, even though I know the majority of my viewers were not born then, or if they were, you were young children. That might be that 1951, that might be a significant number, or that might even be the year that this thing is established, this company or something that you're going to be involved in for some. Okay. Stealth huntress of the night, ancient intelligence, familiar of the goddess, waiting patiently for the time to act, being flexible with grace and balance. Well, if anybody's got grace and balance, it's you, Virgo. You're always grateful. You never grateful and graceful. You're never one to make a big scene. You're always, integrity and dignity is high a priority. That's why I get along with Virgos so well. Okay, let's get your lots of love here. Stability. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, how you like to have the stability. And I believe this Emperor is really offering that stability for you. And now we're going to go into lots of answers and get your yes, no, maybe for our Virgo friends. It says doubtful. Okay. All right, finally, your little bit of wisdom for our lots of proverbs for our Virgo friends. And we've got here, once bitten, twice shy. So maybe that's why you're not wanting to invest in money, because it's right by this money investment. It's not that you're cheap, Virgo, which we know you can be, or a little frugal. Let's not use the word cheap. You guys are a little frugal. We all know this. I'm just playfully, it's not a bad thing. I love my Virgos. But this once bitten, twice shy, for some there may have been a similar thing. Then I'm hearing the words belly, and it went belly up, they're talking about. Or even if you weren't personally involved in this venture that went belly up, you know of it, or you witnessed it, and you have trepidation. But this is a new day, they're saying. This is a new day dawning, and there's a new opportunity. So it's not going to be the same thing. And especially with this Emperor, I get the feeling like this Emperor brings a lot to the table. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to move this cord. Let's tie this cord. Oop, I keep doing that. Sorry about that, Virgo. I'm trying to get this cord out of the way. I feel like that Emperor really brings a lot to the table, okay? And whether it's through experience or financial backing or whatever, you're not going to go down, it's not going to play out the same way some other bad scenario played out in the past, okay? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to the sign of Libra. Now, Libras, this is going to be your full moon. You get one new moon and you get one full moon a year. So this is definitely going to, you'll feel it. Usually during the full moons, things come to culmination. You have these realizations, these big aha moments, things could be uncovered. And as we're going to be moving into eclipse season, not this time around, but we're going to be moving, you're going to start having these eclipses in your sign, and then the South Node is going to be transiting through your sign. And if you skipped the intro, these are the years the last time this energy was present. It would have been December of 2004 through June 2006. And before that, 1986 to 1987. And then before that, 1967 to 69. So, and most people watching were alive, I'm sure, during 2004 to 2006. So you can think back to that time frame as to what was going on. Because it's the South Node, there's going to be a lot more releasing. And people are going to be showing up from your past. And it'll be interesting to see who shows up from your past, because these are people you have karmic ties with, whether you realized it or not. Now, there is going to be an eclipse in your sign, but we're talking all the way around your birthday time, so it's a little bit down the road yet. But, yeah, you're definitely feeling that these transits and these first eclipse here. Oops. Well, that one wanted to come out, so I'll put the bottom row first. Since that flew out, we're going to cut 2 of Cups, 9 of Cups. Which card? You're the first person to get that. Excuse me, and 5 of Staffs. And above, we're going to cut 3. I already shuffled. We're going to cut 3 in the top for Libra. Page of Swords, 4 of Cups, and the Ace of Rods. News is coming in the time of air. Well, guess what air? You. That's you. That's your full moon. You're going to hear some kind of news around that full moon. Look at that full moon shining on this 9 of Cups here, too. Looks like some news is coming around that full moon on the 6th. Not surprising. Usually something's revealed, but it looks like there's an offer coming to you. It's either flat out just like that. It's either really straightforward, like there's this news coming, they've got an offer for you, and you're going to start the new beginning, the new job, the new whatever. Plant this new beginning seeds. And this Aries energy, this is absolutely, Ace of Rods is absolutely Aries energy, okay? And we're in that Aries time frame. But it could be you hear this news and then this is you in your own mind, or your own, talking to your own spirit, or going through this your own. From this news you've heard, you get this additional, things start resonating in your own mind, and you're putting the plan together, and these ideas are coming through more as like downloads or things like that. Time to plant those new seeds. This is the card of Aries. We've got the Aries Ingress coming in from last month still, and the new moon and all that. And then we're going to have that additional second new moon in Aries. Plant those seeds, because you do have this beautiful Nine of Cups energy. That is the wish card. That is a definite yes to your question or what you're seeking. You're going to get what you're seeking. These seeds that you're planting now, they are going to bear fruit. You have the Two of Cups card here too, which is the soulmate card. Although I don't see, we could count that, but even if we counted that as a person, it would be you. I usually don't count the pages as people. I usually talk about them being messengers. A courier they just came through with. So it could be a soulmate with a younger person, but I just feel like there's your wish involves a soulmate, and I think each of you know exactly who that is and what that's about, or you should. The Five of Staffs here is saying just because you have the Ace of Rods and the Nine of Cups doesn't mean it's going to be 100% smooth sailing. There's still going to be some obstacles to get through, as is life, such is life, right? But it is a wish come true. You are going to have that wish come true moment, and you are going to revel in the joyous acceptance, is what they're saying. So that's interesting. Revel in the joyous acceptance. When I heard joyous acceptance, I do feel like for many of you, there is somebody who just, accepts you just the way you are. I'm hearing that Billy Joel song, I love you just the way you are. So somebody loves you just the way you are. Hey, that's no small thing. That's a pretty cool thing and a pretty big thing. Yeah, so plant those seeds. You're absolutely a part of this whole energetic frequency of these eclipses. You're coming into this time again. Think back to those other dates I gave you, and think back to what was going on, because it can absolutely be very relevant to what's going on right now. Got the ants. You're going to be working hard. It's interesting that this shows up right next to this card of the struggle kind of thing. It's like, just like I said, you're planting these seeds and you're going to have your success. It's pretty much guaranteed here with this wish card. But it's not just, there's work involved, and the ant is the worker. The ant's a worker. And it's not always true, but there's a thing they call lazy Libra. I've never used that term. I have Libra daughters, and they're both really hardworking. But there is that, because you're ruled by Venus, you'll find that in a lot of the astrology books, they'll say lazy Libra. But again, I've not found that to be true, because your cardinal sign, and often if you're Libra, you either have some personal planets in the sign before you, of course, which is Virgo, which they're the hardest workers in the whole entire zodiac. Here's you, or you have some Scorpio in your chart, so they're workers too. So. Here we go. Working tirelessly for the good of all, connecting with the community and knowing our place in it. You can move mountains and make miracles happen. I love that last line about the miracles happen, because often that's a lot of what this Nine of Cups, this wish card, will talk for. We talk about miracles. I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing. Yeah, the soulmate card, and with that Ace of Rods, that can be, some sexy time happening too. All right, let's get your lots of love and see what they have to say about it. It says teacher. I think we had the student last time. So again, either you're the teacher or they are, depending on your perspective. I want to say for some of you, might be going back to this other time frame, maybe back in 2004 or even back in the 80s, you were the student and now you're the teacher. Now you're older, you're wiser, you know more. Maybe that's what this whole opportunity is about. For some, maybe it's a teaching opportunity. Okay, let's see here. It says agreed. So that's a yes for your yes or no question. And then finally, let's get our lots of answers, for lots of proverbs, I should say. For Libra, we have still waters run deep. That's interesting. Well, when I said that, there's a couple things. Still waters run deep could talk about those of you that are entering into this relationship. And when I saw that, I felt like Scorpio energy really strong. So some of you might be involved with a Scorpio or have some Scorpio stuff going on, or maybe even your own Venus is in Scorpio and you're that still water running deep. But also, you can take that that sentence a little differently, that statement. You could take it to be, it might seem like nothing's going on. The surface is still, but there's lots of things bubbling down below, and I feel like that's kind of the strongest vibe that I get for the most people that would apply to. It's your full moon. Wishes are coming true. You're going to have to work for it, but I feel like it's worth it. There will be some struggle, but the hard work will pay off. You can move mountains and make miracles happen, Libra. Okay, let me gather these up, and we're going to move on to the next one here. And that's going to be for our Scorpios. Well, Scorpios, the time of the nodes being in your sign is finally coming to the end after the last few years. You know, you've had a lot of things going on too. There is going to be one more eclipse in your sign this year, however, and that's going to be the May next month. We are going to have one more eclipse in your sign, but then that's going to be it for another, 18, 19 years, for quite a while. So I just looked up and it was 33. It won't be that on the same because I had a break and I'll be piecing it together. But when my counter here for this segment of the video, I'm 33 minutes in. So yeah, you've been but I mean, Scorpio, that's your whole life story: death and rebirth, change. So it's not that, but you should have resolved a lot of stuff during this time frame. When the nodes have been in your sign, that's coming to an end, especially the South Node. It's a lot, which is what has been in your sign, the South Node. It's a lot of resolving old karma, letting things go, moving on from the past, detaching from these old cycles of, I'm hearing of hurt and abuse, so it could even be that deep. I wouldn't be surprised either. Scorpios transmutes all that stuff. Okay, so then we got the Page of Pentacles, we've got the Five of Swords, and then we've got the Four of Swords. Down below we have the Eight of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Three of Cups. The Eight of Cups is leaving something behind. There's something that's just never going to be resolved. We're never going to get it, never going to get it, never going to get it, never going to get it. I'm a little off on that, but gonna get it. Da, 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 da. Never gonna get it. You're never gonna get it. And I know, obstinate, Scorpios, sometimes you're fixed sign. I love my Scorpios. I've said before, many of my good friends throughout the years have been Scorpios. I have a ton of Scorpios in my chart. Scorpio rising, Neptune and Venus and Scorpio in the first house, Lilith. But this is about, it's time to call it quits. South Node's coming out of your sign. It's time to call it quits. You're going to need a healing time. But something will always come to replace it. The universe doesn't just let us hanging out there to dry with our butt flapping in the wind. The universe has got plans. It's got big plans, the guide said. News is coming about gain, probably through money, that's going to allow you to get out of this situation. And then I feel like once you get out of it, you're going to have this time of you might just need a little time to just I feel for some of you it's a little bit of the Stockholm Syndrome, like you've been dealing with this stuff for so long, and then when you finally get out of it, it's just like, oh my God, I never realized how harsh it really was, how harsh this situation really was, because Scorpios are so tough, and they'll tough through it, and they've got the hard, they're one of the creatures with the hard shells and everything. You can be that way, and you've got those pinchers and everything, but it's time to move. Some of you are actually moving. I've seen this wall here too. For some of you it might have been your living situation. For some of you it might be your work situation. I feel like it's been bad for some time, and there's going to be a breakthrough, or something's going to break where you can actually move on and get past this wall. Maybe put that wall between you and your past, even for some, move to, or maybe if you have bad neighbors like I do, build a big wall so they can shut them out or something, I don't know. But, you know, it's going to be different for everybody. We've got this beautiful energy of the Three of Cups. And look at this. There's a lot of these full moons in here, but this one just really is grabbing me. So there is going to be that full moon eclipse. Well, there's going to be a full moon in Libra. Excuse me, that's not correct. But there'll be a full moon eclipse in your sign next month. That's what I was remembering, yeah. There will be a full moon lunar eclipse early May. We'll talk about that in my next month reading. But, you know, there is going to be this eclipse in your sign. But it feels, you know, look at the joyous, beautiful energy of this Three of Cups card. You know, it just looks so happy, so joyous, so fun and exciting. She's fresh, exciting. She's so exciting to me. It's funny, I think about that. Like, these days, because we have so many choices of music, you know, I don't know any, like the Grammys, I didn't know practically none of, I didn't even watch it because I was like, I don't even know who these people are. Because we're not programmed like we used to be. And like that song in particular, that would have been sort of more of a disco song, not of I was of the disco sucks mindset back then. But nonetheless, you would hear these songs because there was the only outlets we had were the local radio stations or underground. You know, there was other ways, you know, record stores and, you know, college radio and that, but you still heard those songs, even if you didn't like it or not, you were going to hear it. Now, you know, I don't even listen to local radio. It's all, you know, and I'm off, just, you know, so it's different how it is now. You know, you're not, it's more, you know, it's curated or tailor-made for you and your tastes. So that's come through really strong. There's something that's just tailor-made for your taste. So it might be the new job. It might be the new, they're saying the new crowd, because the Three of Cups is that. The Three of Cups is also a happiness and celebration. Now, April, I don't know. Well, for some they're celebrating Easter or Happy Passover. There's some religious holidays. Sometimes that can indicate some kind of holiday or a celebration, or it can also indicate some personal, maybe an anniversary or, you know, some personal thing like that. Okay, let's go ahead and get to Animal Totem card for our Scorpios for the month of April. The deer. Yeah, the deer is gentle, and that's not always Scorpio's forte either, especially when they're faced with stuff like this. Scorpio, you back a Scorpio into a wall and they're gonna sting. You're gonna see that stinger come out. So they're saying, you know, instead of breaking out that stinger, why not just move on? There's a new situation that's waiting, that's full of joy and happiness for you. Once you get out of this bad situation that you've been fighting for maybe even 5 months, 5 years, for somebody out there since 05, you've been, you know, going, what, wasn't that nodal time again? I do believe it's something was 05. Yeah. So that was the last time that the nodes were going out of your sign, was back in 05. You know, it's time to let that go now, Scorpio. It's time to let that go, because there's all this joy that awaits, and there's definitely like a healing and a lightening of a load here. Gentle, peaceful, sensitive soul, loving persuasion realizes desires. Pay attention to your surroundings, ready to act in an instant. Quiet introspect gives the answers you seek. Well, that's quiet introspect again here, yeah. Yeah, you've been, you know, we've come through the battle, it feels like. You've come through this battle, and now you're going to have your time, your place of peace and your time of peace. And you deserve it, Scorpio. There's some Stockholm Syndrome going on. You guys have been in this for so long, and then once you get out of it, you can kind of let your guard down and breathe a little. It's just like, oh, wow. It really did suck. That whole situation really did suck. Sometimes you can't realize it till you're all the way out of it. Okay, let's go ahead and get your lots of love for Scorpios. It says natural. You make me feel like a natural woman. You make me feel. I'm way out of key because that's way down there. I don't think it's that low, but that song came through. You make me feel like a natural woman. Maybe you've been putting up with somebody who, you know, if it's a relationship, you know, maybe you've been putting up with somebody who's criticizing your appearance all the time. And now you're with somebody that likes you naturally. You know, they like you. It's like a natural woman. The yes, no, maybe is allegedly. So that's kind of, allegedly, there's a little bit of You gotta let that allegedly stuff go, because it's almost like confrontational. Well, allegedly, like you're challenging the truth of something. Let that go. Embrace that deer energy. Parable, proverb, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. This moving on thing, because the Eight of Cups often is it is the journey card. If I'll find the original one in here. Yeah, it's this card, right? So it is a journey card. So for some of you in this wall and everything, you may actually just be moving. Or maybe you are going to, like I said, build that big wall, that big fence, out of sight, out of mind. I don't have to deal with them anymore. For some, it could be like that. But for most, it does kind of feel like you're going to be removed from the situation, and it could be one of the best things that ever happened to you. This is coming to an end. But you got to be willing to walk away and let it go, Scorp. That's all there is to it. You're not going to win this one. South Node through your signs want you to release stuff. You got to release it. Okay, let's go ahead and get moving on to our next sign of Sagittarius. Well, Saggy, you're also getting the square to Saturn. Saturn squares can kind of force your hand. It can kind of force your hand and make you want to try to force you kind of into a specific direction or into a specific... I always joke Saturn's the pusher man, but it's true. Saturn will really push you to go in another direction. And it can be difficult, and it can be hard. I'm hearing that song, what is it? You gotta be cool, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be this, you gotta be that. I'm not sure what that is, but that's what they're telling me for you guys, alright? Another one that's not in my genre of normal musical taste, but let's see here. Sag, Empress, somebody might be pregnant. King of Swords. And third card is the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Benefactor came through. Some of you are going to have some inheritance or something that's coming through super strong. The lawyer might be calling you about some inheritance from, you're going to be sitting pretty like the Empress. Some of you may have some health. If you had health concerns, a lot of times the Empress will talk about feeling better, You got the Emperor, Seven of Staffs, and the Ten of Swords. Oof. Well, it's interesting that you got the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles, because tens are these culminations. You got the two tens here, Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is feeling stabbed in the back. It's hurt and painful. Some of you are going to get an inheritance and somebody passed away. I'm just going to come right out and say it, because that's definitely what's showing here. Not for everybody. Some of you may have been really screwed over at your job by this Emperor, perhaps, or whoever else. You got the Seven of Staffs here. That's that card. Let me pull it out. The regular, not the regular, but the original. That's this card, where you're in that struggle state and it feels, insurmountable, and that's a lot of stuff going on. And maybe you got fired or you quit, and this could be the lawyer saying, hey, we're suing. For some of you, that could be. There is some stuff to get over here. It's been a struggle for a long time. That's the other thing. Did I have that still handy, or is it right on top? Well, here's your Ten of Swords, too, in the traditional deck. Yeah, but when you have these cards together like this, this talks about... These are the two from the original deck, and here's what we have here. This does talk about it's been struggling for... This is unsustainable. This Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands, you can't keep it up. It's constant pressure. It's too hard. And then you just reach the breaking point. That's often what happens. And that could be Saturn pushing on you. That could definitely be Saturn pushing on you, trying to force you to make a change, because that's how Saturn rolls. Saturn doesn't say, oh, cajole you, or, in any way. Saturn will just say, hey, this ain't working anymore. We're doing something else. And, and you're just like, what? Wait. Something's coming to an end, but there's a new beautiful situation that's afoot or blooming. Somebody could be pregnant. Somebody could have improved health. Somebody could be becoming a mother or a grandmother. Somebody could just be in that Empress vibe of just flourishing with all this beautiful money energy. And I really don't feel for most that this Emperor energy is necessarily bad, because there's a connection with the Emperor and the Empress. They're partners. They're definitely partners. And they've got each other's back, So, of course, it'll be different for everybody. I see him holding that. Does he always have that thing in his hand? He's got like a crystal ball or something? Or could be a full moon in Libra on the 16th. I got to pull out that Emperor card and see. I don't recall him holding that ball in his hand, but I want to double check it to be sure. Well, that ball, you know, that could be the full moon again, the full moon on the 6th, you know, or you know, he doesn't have a crystal ball in his hand. Oh, I guess he does. Oh. And I hear I made my own deck and everything. I never noticed it. Well, for some reason, that's really grabbing me, though. It's just really standing out, that crystal ball or whatever he's holding there, that crystal ball. And I feel like it's something of value. You know, it's something of value. It might even be like a coin or a... For somebody, it's a prototype. It's a prototype of something they're going to make or build or, you know, something like that. For some people, there's an element of, I'm holding this, you know, I don't want to be in, I don't want to give that to these people. They're going, he sees, like the crystal ball, he sees, these people are going down. They're going down, 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 down. Boo-da-ba-bow. Yeah, and he's like, whoa, you know, he sees the crystal ball. You could look at it that like he sees the future. He's got a good, this guy's got a good, girl, whoever, this person has a good intuition. But for most, I feel like it's going to be a help for you. So maybe they're waiting for the dust to settle, and then the next thing is going to start up. I feel like, and maybe that is even you. That might even be you. Another thing about this Emperor, especially it's really pronounced on this card, is that it represents of Aries. It's got this Aries big horned, you know, goat thing there, or big horned ram. And that's this whole time frame. At the end of the month, we're having those Aries Ingress, a new moon in Aries. We're going to have a second new moon in Aries. We're in the thick, and Jupiter is in Aries, Chiron is in Aries. You know, we have a lot of Aries energy going on. But again, you know, you being the Sagittarius, that's a trine to you. That's harmonious energy. Okay, let's get the animal totem. The grasshopper. You know, things change by leaps and bounds when the grasshopper comes up. And here's the thing about the grasshopper too. The grasshopper energy is always the reason the grasshopper leaps from thing to thing is because they always want to bask in the sun. They're leaping forward to where that sun is shining on them. So that could be for you too. You're leaping out of this bad situation and you're leaping into a very prosperous situation, and where you can bask in the sun and where the sun shines on you. Oh, let me read that. I'm sorry, I was jumping ahead. Health blessings. There's that Empress, health again. Fertility, the gift of song. Inspired creations reveal your true spirit. Reincarnation, discovering your soul path. Advancement by leaps and bounds. Yeah. Let's get your love, lots of love thing. Because for some of you, this is a love match here, I feel. If it's a love match, it could be this other person might be going through some stuff, you know. But they'll get over it. They'll get past it. Okay, let's see here. Two wanted to come. So I'm going to say engaged and victim. Well, you don't want to be engaged with a victim, do you? But I feel like with this Ten of Swords, it's like, that's that victim mentality too. It can be. Like it's just, and even the Seven of Staffs, like I just can't take it anymore. I'm at the end of my rope. I like the engaged. You're going to be engaged with this Emperor or this King of Swords or whoever. But it may be an engagement, you know. It's a positive for you. Yes, you know, you got yes. Positive, but you know, put a ring on or engagement. But it could just be we're engaging. You know, we're having a business transaction. We're having a talk or whatever. All right, let's get for Sagittarius. Their problem. Life is what you make it. Well, isn't that the truth? Life is what you make it. Yeah, that's a very good one. So you can take lemons and make lemonade. You know, it's that whole thing. Clearly there's been some upset. Maybe it's through a partner. Most cases I think it's going to be through you. But it's coming to an end and you're going to leap into this new life or this new chapter. Looks good. Everybody's going through these new beginnings with all the planetary things. Even if it's not exactly on your planet. Everybody. And by the way, the Aries Ingress is still available as I'm recording this till the end of this month of March. So check that out if you're interested. I'm going to shuffle these bad boys and we're going to move on to Capricorn. Well, Capricorn, we got a little bit of a reprieve here, a little short respite from the Pluto energy, as Pluto has moved into out of our sign. But it's only for a few months or so, and it's gonna come back for one little final thing. But I know I definitely have been feeling, feeling it and reflecting on a lot of things, and a lot of things have been coming up, because usually when a planet goes into a sign, and that would have been in 2008 when Pluto went into the sign of a Capricorn, our sign, and then when it moves out of the sign is when you feel it the most. Enter and exit. So I've definitely seen it, but I have some personal things. It's my South Node and other stuff. It's hitting on my personal planets. But hey, if you're a Capricorn, you probably could have stuff at late degree Capricorn too. Those are the kind of things that we look at in that Aries Ingress. We'll dive into your actual chart. Oh, there's one wants to stay, and I want to put it here. 10 of Pentacles. Okay. So here we've got 5 of Pentacles and Judgment. Well, there's some things happening with your poverty consciousness is coming to an end. If you've been in a state, a lot of people went through some major, upheavals with their finances back in the '08 financial collapse. And that cycle has come to an end. It doesn't have to relate exactly to 2008. It could just be anywhere where you've been kind of stuck in this, feeling less than, feeling not enough or something. That cycle is absolutely coming to an end. The Judgment is the end of a major cycle. Often the Judgment I will use in correlation with the nodes. And that's why we're going to start having eclipses in Aries and Libra, because the nodes are changing sign. Not this month, but this is like the precursor to the nodal changing sign. So again, we're going to go back to this 2004 to 2006. It could even be before that. Whatever the case, some big cycle has come to an end. Some karmic debt has been paid off, and you're going to have this 10 of Pentacles. This is rags to riches here. 5 of Pentacles to 10 of Pentacles. This is going from rags to riches. I go to rags to riches. Or whatever that song is. 10 of Pentacles is the big money card, and with just Judgment there, this is like, tying into these past life. This could even be what I was talking about in one of the recent chart readings about where we have these poverty conscious, these vows of poverty and stuff from other lifetimes, and then we're like, no, now we're going to break out of that. There's definitely a big breakthrough here with this Ace of Swords. This is a victory, a triumph, a breakthrough, and it's associated with the fire energy. Well, again, we got this new moon in fire sign of Aries, we got Jupiter, we got a ton of stuff in Aries and fire energy. So it could even be really close, like right at the first of the month here. This could be an actual person too, who may be a fire sign, which is going to be the Leo, the Aries, or the Sagittarius. So we'll be in this, Sun will be in fire, and we're going to have that new moon, and then after the 20th we move into Earth, we move into Taurus. Something that's been fixed, this has been a long time. You've been stuck in this rut for a long time. That's why I almost, when I saw these two together, I want to say might go back all the way to '08. This is something that you've been stuck in for quite a long time. It's absolutely coming to an end as Pluto exits our sign and sets up for its next 20 years stay in Aquarius. A lot of things are going to break free. I'm hearing freedom from a lot of restraints, a lot of things that were, that we're suffering or we were struggling with over these last, 15 years or so, as it's been. And there's a 1, 5, 1, 5, 15. There's another 5, 1, 10, and 5, 15. So for many of you, this does date all the way back to '08. And if there's been something that's just been, this burden that you haven't been able to kick, or maybe it's just some burden, because this can be within your own, it doesn't have to be in the outside world. It could be within your own, your own mindset or your own belief systems. That poverty mentality, poverty consciousness, or imposter syndrome, all that stuff. Well, let's take a look here. Let's get the, that looks like me. Just looking at this. That looks like me. This came up in another reading, and somebody was saying they're across from the church. And I live across from a church. I was thinking, wow, I wonder if... What's this other one? Is that something sticking out of their head? Looked like a bill, like from a duck or something, that little thing. But I guess actually it's supposed to be part of their little bonnet or something. Or maybe it's an older woman or wearing a babushka or something. That looks a lot like me. It's weird. Well, I'll be happy to move to the next level of my prosperity and whatever, I'll take this for sure. But let's go ahead and get our animal totem for our Capricorns, for everyone, not just me. Okay. Oh, what do we got here? Cheetah. Well, that is like my main animal totem card. But again, cheetah is, you know, a lot of different things. Having a lot of irons in the fire. You know, being, you know, so if you're like me too, where I'm doing all these different things. I write books. I do decks. I have art. I do music. You know, I've always got all this other stuff going on. That's that cheetah energy. Maybe one of them's finally gonna hit. And you can finally have the freedom that you're seeking, because that's what I'm seeking. I'm seeking freedom, right? Ultimately, empath, healer, prolific creator, things happening at lightning speed, staying alert to synchronistic signs, the path of the soul practitioner. Well, yeah, the path of the soul practitioner, but I do feel for many, for most, this fire energy is going to be real, real important. It's going to be real important, and this fire person is Aries, Leo, Sag, or this younger, passionate person that may come in around this time frame here. Here's what I feel. I feel for some people, this person is going to take one of your prolific creations and knows what to do with it. Because it's not just about putting it out there, and exhausting yourself in the process, too, which I know I'm guilty of that as well. It's somebody that could take it to the next level, or that knows the ins and outs of how to do it, or they know how to make things happen. They're fiery, Okay, let's see here. Love, dating. So some of you might be dating. Maybe you're dating this person. When I said love, I've heard that old Peter Wolf rap. Love trouble, love trouble. Ain't gonna deny it. Love comes once, and when it comes, you got to grab it fast. Cause sometimes the love you grab, it ain't gonna last. And I believe I must have got lost. Ooh, when I said I must have got lost, I got chills. Woo! All over my entire body. So maybe some of you are on the wrong path, and Pluto has pushed you, and is opening and showing you the door. In the best possible way, not like showing you the door, get the hell out of here, right? Oh, I pulled another one, karmic. I didn't mean to pull another one, but I did. I was talking and pulling them. So this karmic cycle is ending, no doubt about that. Okay, let's see here. Yes, no, maybe. Cap, maybe. And then finally, lots of parables, lots of prophecies, whatever. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah. Well, if you are dating and other people are like judging it, and just say, hey, whatever. I kind of got that, I kind of got that there's a little bit of a judging thing going on, or maybe you don't want to be seen with them in public. That's why they're wearing that hood thing. Remember from the original Sex and the City with Charlotte when she met her husband. And she's like, ew, he's so gross, and blah, 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 blah. But then she couldn't get enough of him, and they ultimately fell in love and got married and whatever. But it could be a situation like that. Or maybe it's somebody else. I mean, but who are we all, any of us, to judge? Maybe it's somebody else. What do they see in that person? My one friend's mom's voice just came through. We used to say that, stuff like that. What do they see in that person? And she would always say, he's got hidden talents. So, she was like in her 80s, and she would just come up with those things all the time, those kinds of stuff like that. I mean, so maybe it's somebody, so who are you to judge? You never know. Anyways, let's move on to the next thing. Aquarius. Boy, is it big time for you guys. Big time stuff's going down. Whole lot of something going round and down. A whole lot of stuff going down. Yeah, stuff is going down, Aquarius. Pluto's coming into your sign. Your life's about to be transformed. It doesn't usually happen, all at once or in one fell swoop or one day. This is a 20-year transit, so this is a long, long thing, but you will be transformed, and try to stay open for it. Try to be open to it. Try to kind of roll with those changes and let that stuff happen, because it's ultimately part of your soul journey that you signed up for. It's intense. All right, we've got the Hierophant. I almost said High Priestess, but it's the Hierophant. Rods, which is fire energy, King of Rods, and Earth, which is earth energy, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, fire, Leo, Aries, Sag, Earth, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. These are non-gender people, could be anybody, and they could be representing these people. And then, or time frames, because here we go, we are in the time of fire. It's big fire emphasis, big time. And then we're moving from the sign of Aries into the earth sign of Taurus. So it might be right around that eclipse at that transitional point, because it's the same day as the eclipse, a little later, the sun moves into Taurus. So we go from Aries into Taurus. So it could be around that. There's an opportunity for you to belong to this new group or this new company or this new, there's a long word coming through and I'm not quite getting it. Organization, that's it. Organization. This new organization. And these people are, it's like you got the job if you want it, I want to say for some. He's looking at you like, hey, you'd be a great fit for our company or for our group or whatever the case may be. And I feel like this person's like drawing up the paperwork or getting your information for the payroll or, you know, drawing up the contracts or something like that. Like they're both, this person's busy handling this whole money part of it, and this person's like, hey, I think you're great. Let's make this happen. For some of you, it might even be, so if you're going for some kind of loan, you might, maybe this is a bank and you're going to get the loan approval or something like that. There is a decision that takes a while. You may be left, because you may be left waiting. Did I get the job? Did I get the loan? You know, there's somebody's trying to make this decision. But I feel like, you know, by the time we get to that full moon, maybe as soon as the full moon on the 6th, but I'm really thinking like the full moon next month, you'll know. The Magician is here. The Magician is definitely a card of you feeling empowered, you seeing the direction you want to go in, you moving forward, and especially because he's pointing up, and so is this, it's like, you know, we're inspired, we're making things happen. This is a time of action, this is a time of things happening. The Nine of Rods over here, Nine of Staffs, is a card of, you know, I'm not even sure if, is this really real? Is this really real? What's really going on here? You know, what's happening? What's going on? Can I trust this situation? Everything's changing so quickly, it's maybe hard to kind of, you know, grasp it or comprehend it. The answer is yes. Because I want to tell you, even though this is fire energy, and sometimes fire energies can just be, you know, scattered energy all over the place and things like this. The fire energy is the king, rather. The king is, you know, the king is not. He's not a bullshitter. You know, whatever he's saying, it's not bullshit. He's got the stuff. He's got the goods to back it up, and he's got this person backing him up too with the money in whatever capacity, whether they're the accountant, the bookkeeper, the lawyer. You know, there's backup. He's not, there's, the guides came through it. He's not just whistling Dixie. You hear that, Aquarius? He's not just whistling Dixie. There's an old time expression. Anyways, let's get your animal totem, Aquarius. Let's see here. The frog, so you're being transformed, just like what did I say the very first thing? You will be transformed. But the frog is taking it to the ultimate level. The frog's not the tadpole or the newt or whatever the hell else they go through. All those things, you know. The frog is the fully realized frog here. And the frog is also about making these big leaps in your life too. Okay, Rainmaker, Alchemist, Clairaudient, Fertility, Transformation, Metamorphosis, Safe passage into the netherworld. The final stages of growth, you have arrived. Yeah, and you've got this Magician about being really empowered. So new paths are opening up like crazy with this Pluto energy. Your whole life could change. I mean, seriously, your whole life could change. Know that it's only leading to your own self-actualization, your own self-realization, your own soul path experience that you signed up for. So these are, you know, just some things that you should know. Love, friend. So somebody, there could be a situation where, you know, either or wants to take it to the next level and the other person wants to just keep it friends. Or it could be where you're already friends and maybe you guys are both thinking like, hey, you know, I kind of like you. Alright. Yes or no? Naturally. Yeah, I want to go with this naturally, with this friend thing. I think it's the natural progression. And what's wrong with being friends? You know, in this day and age, everybody's Tindering and we just banging right out of the gate. You don't even know somebody. I mean, if you want to do that, not judging at all. I mean, I had my wild days back in the day. No judgment at all. But, sometimes a friendship can naturally progress. So maybe you want to start as friends and naturally progress to the next level. Parable, prophecy. It is never too late to be what you might have been. Yeah. Oh boy, am I getting chills all over on that one too. Yeah, because I know a lot of my, well, actually I have a good age range. A lot of younger people watch me too, so that's good. But a lot of people are in my age range, a little bit older. And well, look at the Academy Awards that we just had. I mean, come on. The girl who won, she's the same age as me, born in 62, 60 years old. And she's like, don't let anybody tell you you're past your prime, and I'll say that to you, Aquarius. Don't let anybody tell you that your life is set in stone, basically, is what I'm trying to say, because there's major transformation afoot. You have never experienced this Pluto in. It's not been since the 1700s, so this is all new energy, and it's definitely going to break things up and change things around, and maybe propel you into just a completely new life. I really feel that for many Aquarians. It's starting now. It may not be this year. It may not complete it this year. You may not complete it in 10 years. But it's starting right now, okay? Okay, last but not least is our beautiful Pisces energy. How are you guys doing with the Saturn in your sign? Let me know in the comments how that's rolling out for you. How's it working? It's a big deal. It's Saturn coming around, it can make things happen. I was going to include this in the next astrology reading, and I do feel like I will. But also I was thinking about this, the Pisces energy, you guys are, you're so dreamy and you're so creative and you're so mystical, and you've got all these ideas and you've got all these things swimming around all the time. And here comes Saturn after, it's like, oh, Saturn's knocking at the door. Oh, come on in, Saturn. Like, I'm really thinking about Neptune, your ruling planet. It's like, hey, come on in, Saturn. I've got some ideas I've been mulling over for the last 30 years. I want to lay it on you. Tell me what you think about it. Because Saturn is that energy that can really bring it into the 3D reality, really give you that foundation, really, and Saturn was not going to just go with any old whim that you think might be good. Saturn's going to look it over and say, okay, I think this is viable, Pisces. I think we could really build something here. So you can work with that Saturn energy. Saturn is not going to work with something that's not viable and doesn't have long-term lasting effects that has a good foundation. So that's why if you're running, because Saturn pushes again, so if you're running up against difficulties, if things are rough, that's Saturn saying, no, that's not the way. Let's try something else. So heed that. You don't have to waste forever time pounding. It's like, okay, that's not going to work, or at least not right now. Let's try this thing. Because I know you've got so many things in your bucket there, your dream bucket, they're saying. And what they're saying dream bucket, but they're showing me my, the guy from my painting, my star catcher. I don't know if I can pull him up yet. I'll try maybe. 5 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords. Yeah, that's just this thing. Saturn, there's things that are not going to work. And this is exactly the energy of, this is that stalemate energy. So you're pushing, hitting the brick wall. The brick wall is Saturn saying, come on now, Pisces. And let's go over here. Let's try this thing. And I know you've got more than one idea brewing. Don't be in bondage. The devil's here too, so that's telling us, don't be in bondage to any one particular thing, which that's not usually a Pisces trait. But some of you might have a bunch of Aries in your chart. That is the next zodiac sign over. So often you may, some Pisces have a lot of Aries in their chart. Things are coming to an end. Saturn says enough is enough. Don't hold on too long. Let's be free. Let's loosen up. Let's pull out something else. Well, you don't like that? Well, how about this, Saturn? And Saturn being right in your sign, Saturn's going to let you know right away. When something is good, stuff's going to show up. Foundations are going to show up. And it's showing you. You've got the 3 of Rods. The 3 of Rods is your ship is coming in. 3 of Pentacles, you are building something for the future. You've got this very, and the 3, it's the 3 is the triangular, it's the foundation. It's a very strong, energy of if you have two, it's going to fall over. You need that strong foundation. You've got to even look at building this wall, the Six of Cups. Now, traditionally, the Six of Cups will talk about something from the past coming back. But I'm really feeling like they whipped that card out just to show us that wall. And then what's at the top of that wall? So if you play by Saturn's rules and you listen and heed Saturn's advice, if you're running up against Saturn saying no, so don't keep saying, come on, Saturn. You're not going to convince Saturn of anything. You're just wasting precious energy. You're gonna build this new foundation, this new structure, where all sorts of beautiful, wonderful cups and things can flourish there. Look at that. And that cup, that's your energy. That's the water energy. So atop of this wall, once you've built this new foundation, all sorts of things are going to be flourishing and growing for you, and you're going to be building on this very solid foundation that Saturn has come into your sign to guide you toward and provide you with a solid foundation. So things probably are coming to an end. Don't hold on. No holding on for dear life. So, the devil is also the card of Saturn, too, by the way. Capricorn and Saturn. Don't break those chains of bondage. Saturn's got bigger plans for you. Bigger, better plans for you. There's more in store than meets the eye. That's what the guides are coming through with. Okay, let's see what the animal totem is for our Pisces friends. The horse, so you could be traveling. The horse is definitely a thing of travel. For some of you, we could take this just straight up literally. Some of you might be working with horses. I'm definitely picking that up for some people. Like you're going to be working with horses, or what was I going to say about it? Like working with horses or riding, or maybe that's just how you get your head clear. Just go horseback riding. If you find yourself, it's not a usual Pisces trait, but if you do find yourself getting fixated on something, it's time to, ride like the wind. Well, I think they even say that. Let's read the card. Let's see what I say here. Magic, divination, astral travel, journey. Ride like the wind to the furthest reaches. Expand beyond your comfort zone and explore the realm of possibility. That's exactly what I was saying here, Stop beating a dead horse. If it's like that, you keep trying. And again, that's not a usual Pisces trait, but nobody is just Pisces or just whatever. You have a lot of different things going on in your chart. So it does seem like there's been something that's like that, and you're just setting yourself up for more and more. When the 10 is there, we're done. There's no more hot card. The 10 is the end. That's it. We're done. Let's start focusing on the beautiful ships coming in and the beautiful building this new foundation, the beautiful cups, and I'm hearing back to the drawing board for some. So this might be back to the drawing board, starting your new life and your new venture, because it really is a time to start a new life. That could absolutely happen when Saturn comes through your sign. If I didn't mention it again, the last time this was 94 to 96. And then before that, 1964 to 67. So if you were alive during those times, you may want to, reflect back on what was going on. Because Saturn is also the Lord of Karma. So the Lord of the Karma is coming back to roost in your sign. What have you learned over those time frames? Who are you now versus who were you then? Work with the Saturn energy. Don't try to fight it, because resistance is futile. Work with it. Okay, love. Love was your card for your love card. Well, that's cool. So there's going to be love around you. Okay, yes, no, maybe for our Pisces friends? Possibly. So that's like, it's possible. C'est possible. All right, last but not least, lots of proverb. Love is blind. So, well, for some of you, even though it's not showing up that way, there could be somebody who's just trying to come back and come back and come back. And this could be a relationship that you're in bondage to. Because, on the original the cards, there's the man and the woman, and the Six of Cups can be taking somebody back, back. If they've done this kind of stuff to you, it's time to let them go. Saturn's kicking their ass out the door. Saturn says, enough is enough. But never fear, Pisces, because you're building something really awesome. So make it something awesome. You don't want to build your house on this energy. You want to build your house on the energy of love. Love came up 2 times down here. Well, in the lots of love, but it came up here as well. build your future, your next cycle, your next 28 to 30 year cycle. Build it on a foundation of love. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for tuning in and all the ways that you do support me through liking, subscribing. That's all your interaction with my channel. Activates that all-important YouTube algorithm. You know how that goes. I do want to point out I do have my Instagram. I'm putting the art on there. vickieverlie.com is the main one, which is going to be a variety of art. I post on Monday and Thursdays. Monday is something I'm working on now or more recent history, and then for Throwback Thursday, I'm going to be like posting some of my older art. Here's the page, and then I also have the Spirits in the Mist. So the Spirits in the Mist is the smoke art that I'm going to be doing a deck for. So if you're interested in any of the art or creative stuff I have, and you're on Instagram and you want to follow me at vickieverlie or at Spirits in the Mist, spelled M-Y-S-T. If you are still interested in getting that Aries Ingress reading, because I know it's technically, you know, a couple days past the Aries Ingress, but the Aries Ingress is the kickoff of the whole astrological year and the whole upcoming season. So it's not just valid for this really little time frame. So that's why I do keep it available all the way till the very end of the month, because, you know, that's... And sometimes if I'm still getting orders, I may roll into the very first week of April on that, because it's still relevant. It's not just for one thing. And with all the astrology that's going on, what this actually is like a transit reading. Again, the guest deck, or if you so to speak, that we used was the Tarot of the Moon and Garden. And then we used my mini rock and roll tarot and my Beast Mistress Animal Oracle cards. If you're interested in any of these decks, of course, as always, there's links below. I appreciate all of you. If you like the tarot readings more, I do post a mid-month reading for my Patreon peeps, so you can find out about that by joining Patreon. In addition to the readings and the art on Instagram, I do have all sorts of things you can find all through my website, vickieverlie.com. I have everything, t-shirts, notebooks, all kinds of really cool stuff that you can get for yourself and, you know, also help an independent creator like myself. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. Please do hit the like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what's going on with Pluto and Saturn for everybody. Have the best month ever, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.